Hey, I'm VanMeter. I'm 14 years old and I play the piano. Well, I got my start playing piano when I just turned 6 years old. You know, I like to listen to the radio a lot, and I heard a lot of good songs, a lot of songs that I really liked. So I went to my parents and I asked them, I want to play the piano. So they started looking around, trying to find me a teacher, but most of the piano teachers won't teach a student until they're 7 years old. So they finally found my piano teacher, Mr. Lee Davis, and he's been wonderful. I don't think I could have found anyone better. He's showed me a lot of things that I don't think a lot of other teachers could have showed me. He is a great classical pianist, but he also knows a lot of other styles as well. He knows a lot about blues and jazz and gospel, so he's definitely been a big inspiration to me. So over the course of the next 8 years, he really helped me out a lot. When I was about 10 years old, I was playing at the Cherry Blossom Festival in Macon, and I saw, while I was there, the Georgia Music Hall of Fame. So I said, next year, I want to come back and play there. So sure enough, I made the arrangements, and then the following year when I played at the Cherry Blossom Festival, the next day I had been booked to play out in front of the museum. So that's what I was doing, and I went in and I looked around, got the tour, and I became a contributing member that day. And a few years back, the museum actually closed, which was a very sad event. I was invited to the closing ceremony, which was good. I felt like I got some closure from that. But while I was there, I found out I was actually the youngest contributing member of the Hall of Fame. My favorite type of music to play, well, gosh, there's so many out there. Probably contemporary type stuff, you know, like rock style. I really like Elton John. I do a lot of Elton John covers. I also like writing my own music, but it's usually in that style. So I think that's the style I like to play in most, but I also enjoy playing blues and ragtime. One time I was playing for a benefit for a charity that in essence its mission was to provide food for hungry people around Atlanta. And they were having a party for the donors who had donated the most. And one of the donors to that charity was actually Elton John. So while I was at that party, I was playing, and then Mr. John actually walked in while I was playing in the background, and I got a look at him, and then he just breezed through and I think went out the back door, just made an appearance. But that is the time I played for someone famous. A couple years back, I went to Louisiana, down in New Orleans, and I played on Bourbon Street. Played a couple of places there, one of which was the Chris Owens Club, and of course Miss Owens is a very fascinating woman. I consider myself fortunate to know her. And I also played at the Legends Park, which was kind of an impromptu thing. The band was playing and they were taking a break, and there was a keyboardist in the band, and I said, hey, you mind if I play a couple songs? And he said, go ahead. So I sat down and I did my thing, and I felt like that was an act of fate, because I wouldn't have imagined that happening, so I'm very thankful that it did. Legends Park is a small, usually very busy venue on Bourbon Street, and it has some of the musical legends of the city in there in bronze statues. So when I was 12 years old, I went to Italy, and I had a great time there. It was something I'd wanted to do for a long time, was travel abroad with my playing. So I was very excited when I got to do that. I was staying in a small villa in Umbria, which is a province there. While I was there, I visited a few small towns such as Sesmano and Todi and Bastardo, and I played at some restaurants and saw a lot of towns in Italy, and it was all very fascinating how things work over there. The VanMeter Foundation is a project of mine I started working on early in 2013, and basically our goal is to spread music throughout the community. The mission statement at the foundation is to help people find the music that lives within us all. And we do that through gifts of CDs, and when we can afford it, musical instruments to mainly underprivileged children. We also provide lessons for them. You saw that wall of guitars, and those have all been donations that the foundation will use when we find the right person.